And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, I'm Tom Vasel, and today we're taking a look at Colors of Paris. Colors of Paris is a game about painting. There's definitely a lot of these games in existence, but it's a fun theme. People like the idea of painting, and it translates well into a board game. In this one, you are one of famous historical painters, trying to get your pigments, put them on there, mix the colors together, and paint the paintings. Using worker placement, where you'll place helpers on the board to take different actions. This one has an intriguing difference that I haven't seen before in a game, and let me show you. Each player is going to have a painter that they're going to pick. You can play the normal sides here, or you can play with the side where each one has a special ability that will take place over the course of the game. So you'll pick one of these painters, you put it down here where your player board. You have 3 tracks here, and you'll start with 3 workers, although you have a possibility of getting 6 over the course of the game. You also start with 3 pigment cubes of the basic colors, yellow, blue, and red. And there's some paintings that are placed up here. There are different paintings in this game. They'll show you the painting on one side, and then the colors that you'll need, 3 yellows, 4 oranges, 2 greens, to complete that painting. In turn order, players are going to take turns placing these helpers here on the board in different spots. So if I place it here, I'm going to be able to take this action. Some spots have more than one, and in some places you can't place anybody in those spots. After everyone's done placing their workers, so as players are placing them, then you'll take turns laying the worker down and taking the action. The different actions are pretty simple. 3 of the actions are going to let you upgrade your player board. You'll simply move up on your player board, which is going to allow you to take, when you take other actions, you'll be able to do them better as you move these up. Also, if you move it up to this spot, the 6th spot on each of these tracks, you can either take a 6-point token or you can take another helper. Then when you get to the final spot, if you get there, and you already took the helper, you can take a 10-point token, or if you took the 6-point token, it changes into a 10-point token. If you go to one of these spots, like the yellow, or the red, or the blue, you're going to get that many cubes of that color, and it's going to be equal to the token here. So at the beginning of the game, you would get 3. If I went here, I get 3 blues, but maybe I would get 6 blues if this was farther up on the chart. And at the same time, if you go here where you're mixing colors, here I will trade in 1 blue and 1 red to take purples. How many purples do I get? Well, it depends where this is down here. You can also mix 1 orange, 1 purple, 1 green to take a black cube. This is simply worth 6 points at the end of the game. And then there's spots where you can paint. So hey, I actually want to paint. When I paint, I can take paint cubes equal to wherever this is on this board and place them on any painting that I may have taken. So maybe I can put cubes here. It doesn't matter what order you put them in. So I put some green cubes here, and I still need 1 orange and 3 green to finish this painting. When it's finished, I'll discard the cubes and turn it over where it's going to be worth that many points at the end of the game. There's also a spot on the board where you can take a new painting card. So you'll just take one of the available ones, which is not replaced until the end of the round. Players can also place in the middle of the board here. This one here will give you first place token and give you white cubes. White cubes can be used in place of any color on the painting, but they will be worth -2 at the end of the game. Here you can copy an action on the lower board, and here at the end of the round you can choose to not rotate it or rotate it too. See, this is one of the interesting things about this game, is at the end of the round, after everyone has gone and you've used all your workers, then this board is going to rotate once clockwise, which is going to change where the actions are. Each player then will stand up one of their workers, and you can leave it on the board. It's as if you've already placed it, and the rest will come back. And then you start another round. You will keep going until someone has completed 2 cards. At that point, players will score points for the paintings that they have completed, -2 points for each white cube they've used. Each black cube is worth 6 points. And by the way, there's only 5 black cubes. If all of them are taken, that is also another trigger for the end of the game. And then you'll get 6 or 10 points for if you've made your technology basically go higher on this track. I said there's a couple of variants. Well, I already mentioned one where you have different painters in the game. You also can have these bonus cards. There's a spot on the board where you can take bonus cards. I should also mention there's tokens like this, which will cover up certain areas of the board based on numbers of players. The game is certainly bright and colorful. It has all these little plastic cubes that you'll use for the different colors. The painters themselves, they fit nicely in here. The game is good, and this board here, rotating, that's pretty neat. I got one small problem with the game. I like the fact that they're using these paintings here, and here you have an abstracted, these are the colors, and then here's the painting itself. What I find unusual, though, is considering that you can just use public domain paintings, why is there duplicates in the deck? It just feels like with that many different paintings that are available that they could have put in here, they put in fewer than they could have. That's a minor thing. The easels are nice. They're like just two tokens like this that come apart and you put them together to hold the paintings. That looks cool. Everything works pretty well, and again, it's just a bright, cheerful look to this game when it's on the table. So this game has that interesting idea. This has a bunch of basic things that I've seen in games before. Hey, upgrade the technology, I call it. Upgrade those tracks, which make your other actions better. Take paint cubes, place paint cubes, finish paintings. That's pretty simple, but it has that rotating board, which means sometimes a spot will have 3 actions, sometimes it will have 2, sometimes it will have 1. I like the concept that that board rotates 1, or if you choose to, you might rotate it 2 or none at all, and that you leave a person on the board from turn to turn. Well, that's stuff I haven't seen before, and it sounds a little complex, but it really isn't. This game is really straightforward, and in fact, Colors of Paris is one of those worker placement games that I think actually scales really nicely, especially for 2 players. For a 2-player game, there's a lot of nice back and forth. When I first went over the rules, I thought, wow, only 2 paintings? But 2 paintings takes a bit to get to because you got to get those colors, mix the colors. Most of the paintings are going to need some secondary colors. And then when you run up the technology track, I also, when I saw the technology track and saw the rule, take a worker, and then if you get to the end, you can take 10 points, or if you took the 6 points, take 10 points. And I thought, why would anyone ever take the 6 points? You take the worker and then get 10 points. The fact is, getting to the end of one of those tracks is a lot of work. So you might only get up to the top. It might be better for you to take the 6 points and not worry about it later on. So this game does a lot of cool things. It does it in a very small framework. Like each game of this isn't going to change wildly from the last game. But I think the theme of this is easy. It says 20 minutes per player in here. That's about accurate. And like I said, I think this is one of those games that even though it does go to 4 players, and it's fine with 4 players, plays really nicely with 2. It has a cool look to it. When people who walk by the table when you play it are going to stop and wonder what's going on. And it doesn't require a lot of thinking, but at the same time, it does allow you to make some pretty meaty choices. And I think it's kind of neat to put a guy out to take the action of that space, knowing that it's going to rotate once, and then I'll get the action of that other space in the next turn. Unless, of course, someone goes there and rotates it 2, in which case then I have to figure out how to deal with that. And so there's a little bit of player interaction. Sometimes someone might take the painting you want. But for the most part, it's a really straightforward game and one that I think you should check out. That's Colors of Paris. Dice Tower Judgment approved!
Thanks so much for watching another Dice Tower video. If you enjoy our videos, subscribe to the channel for more fun, comprehensive board game coverage. Also, consider joining us at one of our events. Come to Dice Tower Retreat, a small, intimate gathering where gaming is king. Join us for Dice Tower Cruise, the largest board game cruise. Attend Dice Tower West in Las Vegas, for gaming fun on the West Coast, or Dice Tower East in Orlando, in sunny Florida. Dice Tower Conventions, the friendliest gaming conventions on Earth. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.